Hello, my friends, and welcome to Timeless Wisdom. If you're like me, gardening is more than just a hobby. It's an integral part of our identity. There's something truly magical about stepping into the garden in the early morning, inhaling the fresh air, and watching the plants we've carefully tended burst into life. It's not merely about the blooms or the produce. It's the memories we forge, the tranquility we discover, and the purpose that propels us forward. But let's face it, gardening isn't as straightforward as it once was. Bending over to pull weeds, lugging around heavy pots, or even managing our tools can sometimes be a struggle. And that's perfectly fine. That's precisely why I'm here today. To share 16 gardening hacks that will simplify your time in the garden, making it more enjoyable and indeed more fulfilling. These tips are tailored for you, whether you're a veteran gardener or just beginning your green journey. So, grab a cup of tea, get comfortable, and let's rediscover the joy of gardening. And before we get started, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and join our Timeless Wisdom community. Together, we can continue to grow one tip at a time. How does that sound? Are we ready to dive into the next part? 1. A mailbox in the garden, a convenient helping hand. A mailbox in the garden, a convenient helping hand. Picture this. You're in the middle of tending your favourite flower bed, snipping dead heads, or pulling weeds, and suddenly you realise you need your pruners. The idea of walking all the way back to the shed feels exhausting, doesn't it? Here's a simple trick that has made my gardening day so much easier. Place a weatherproof mailbox right in your garden. Yes, a mailbox. Mount it on a sturdy post or a nearby tree close to your busiest gardening spot. Inside, you can keep your essentials: gloves, scissors, a small trowel, everything you need to avoid the constant back and forth. It's like having a mini shed right where you need it most. As we get older, saving time and energy becomes essential. This hack reduces the wear and tear on your body and lets you focus on what really matters: enjoying your garden. Plus, it's a charming addition to your space, practical, helpful, and uniquely yours. Let me know if this flows well, and I'll move on to the next tip. 2. Make heavy planters a breeze. Repurpose old nursery pots. Repurpose old nursery pots. Let me ask you this. How many times have you tried to move a large planter only to find it's too heavy to budge? Big planters look beautiful, but they can be tough on our backs and arms as we age. Here's a simple trick I've been using for years. Repurpose those plastic nursery pots we all have stashed away in our sheds. Before adding soil to your planter, place a few of those old nursery pots upside down in the bottom, then fill the remaining space with potting soil. This does two wonderful things. It makes the planter much lighter and saves you money on potting soil. Plus, the extra space at the bottom improves drainage, so your plants stay healthier. This hack is especially helpful for us seniors who might not have the strength we once did. It's also a budget-friendly and eco-friendly solution, giving those old pots a second life. Gardening doesn't have to be about heavy lifting. It's about working smarter, not harder. Let me know if this works for you, and we'll move on to the next tip. 3. Refresh, don't replace potting soil. Here's a secret I wish I'd learned sooner. There's no need to replace all your potting soil every time you replant. That's right. Instead of tossing it all out, just remove the top third of the old soil, fluff up what's left in the pot, add a fresh layer of potting soil, and mix in some slow-release fertilizer. It's like giving your plants a nutritious reset without the heavy lifting. For us seniors, this trick is a real lifesaver. Those big, bulky bags of soil can be tough to manage, and constantly buying new ones can really add up. By refreshing your soil instead of replacing it, you save money, reduce waste, and lighten the load, literally. This simple adjustment keeps your plants happy and thriving while keeping things manageable for you. Gardening should feel like a joy, not a workout, and this tip ensures it stays that way. Let me know if this flows well, and I'll prepare the next section. 4. Divide and conquer. Double your garden with one plant. Let me share a little gardening secret that saved me both money and time. Always keep an eye out for large perennials at the nursery. Plants like hostas, daylilies, and many others grow in clumps that are practically begging to be divided. When you bring one home, you can often split it into 2 or even 3 plants right away. It's like a buy one get 2 deal for your garden. Now, I'll be honest. Dividing plants has become one of my favourite activities as I've gotten older. You don't need to rush or lift anything heavy. Grab a garden bench, a small spade, and a little patience. Teasing apart the roots is therapeutic, almost meditative. And the best part? Watching those new plants flourish in their new spots feels incredibly rewarding. This hack not only stretches your gardening budget, but also keeps things simple and manageable for us seniors. It's proof that with a little creativity, your garden can grow without breaking the bank or your back. What do you think? Ready for the next tip? 5. Coffee filters, the hidden helper for clean planters. Here's a quick and clever trick that I've been using for years. Line the bottom of your pots with coffee filters. Why, you ask? It's simple. Coffee filters keep the soil from leaking out of your planters while still allowing water to drain properly. For those of us with patios, balconies, or even garden beds near walkways, this means no more messy soil trails or muddy spots. What's even better, coffee filters are biodegradable, so they naturally break down over time, making this an eco-friendly solution. It's perfect for us seniors who want to keep things tidy without adding more work to our day. No more bending over to clean up soil spills or constantly adjusting pots. Just set it up and enjoy the benefits. A simple coffee filter can save time, keep your plants happy, and your garden space looking neat. Who knew such a small item could make such a big difference? Let me know if this fits the flow, and I'll move on to the next tip. 6. Scrap wood. Elevate your planters with DIY plant feet. Here's a little tip that saved me countless hours of hassle. Use scrap wood or old paint stirrers to make DIY plant feet for your pots. By elevating your planters just a few inches off the ground, you allow water to drain freely and prevent pooling underneath. This keeps your pots dry and deters pests like pill bugs from setting up camp under your favourite plants. For us seniors, this hack is a game changer. Cleaning under heavy pots or dealing with pests can be tough on the knees and back, but these small feet make maintenance a breeze. It's an easy, affordable project. You don't need fancy tools or materials. Just grab some leftover wood from your garage or ask a neighbour if they have extra paint stirrers lying around. With your pots elevated, you'll enjoy healthier plants, fewer pests, and a cleaner garden space. It's a simple fix that makes a big difference, especially when we're all about working smarter, not harder. Ready for the next tip? Let me know. 7. Newspaper and cardboard, the secret weapon against weeds. Let's talk about weeds, those pesky little invaders that seem to pop up no matter how hard we work. Instead of battling them endlessly, here's a trick I swear by. Use newspaper or cardboard as your mulching allies. Lay down a few layers of newspaper or sheets of cardboard under your mulch to create a natural barrier that keeps weeds at bay. For those of us who aren't as spry as we used to be, this method is a lifesaver. No more constant bending and pulling. And if you're starting a new planting bed, large pieces of cardboard, like pallet cardboard, are a game changer. Skip the back-breaking task of digging up sod and simply lay the cardboard down, cover it with compost and mulch, and let nature take over. Over time, it breaks down, feeds the soil, and creates the perfect foundation for your plants. It's a simple, affordable solution that works wonders and keeps your garden looking neat and tidy. And best of all, you'll save your energy for the parts of gardening you love most. Let me know if this fits the flow, and I'll move on to the next. 8. Winter sowing. Mini greenhouses with plastic bottles. Here's a winter gardening trick that's as clever as it is simple. Turn those empty plastic bottles into mini greenhouses for sowing seeds. This technique, known as winter sowing, is perfect for us seniors who might not want to fuss with indoor grow lights, heating mats, or crowded windowsills. Here's how it works. Take a plastic bottle, cut it in half, and fill the bottom half with soil and seeds. Then pop the top half back on, leaving the cap off for ventilation, and place it outside. That's it. Nature will do the rest. The seeds will germinate when the conditions are just right. No extra work required on your part. This method is not only low maintenance, but also saves space and creates strong, resilient seedlings that thrive in your garden. It's an easy, cost-effective way to get a head start on your planting season without the usual hassle. And let's face it, anything that saves time and keeps gardening enjoyable is a win in my book. Let me know if this keeps the momentum going, and I'll move on to the next tip. 9. Frost protection. Everyday items to the rescue. We've all been there. Spring arrives, you plant your seedlings, and then, out of nowhere, a late frost sneaks in. For us seniors, rushing to protect those delicate plants can feel overwhelming. But here's a trick that's quick, simple, and uses everyday items you probably already have. Grab an empty plastic bottle, cut off the bottom and place it over your seedling. Or take an old nursery pot, flip it upside down, and use it as a cover. To keep them steady, just place a small rock on top or press the edges into the soil. These DIY covers act like little frost shields, giving your plants the protection they need during those unexpected cold snaps. The best part? Once the frost is gone and the sun is back, simply remove the covers and store them for the next time. It's an affordable, no-fuss solution that ensures your garden keeps thriving, even when the weather tries to play tricks on us. What do you think? Should we move on to the next tip? 10. Creative plant markers. Simple solutions from everyday items. Have you ever planted something only to forget what it was a week later? Plant markers are a must, but buying them can add up. Here's a creative and budget-friendly solution. Repurpose items you already have at home. Plastic knives left over from picnics, slats from old mini blinds, or even yogurt containers cut into strips make excellent plant markers. Just write the plant names on them with a UV-resistant marker, and they'll hold up against rain, sun, and time. If you prefer a more rustic look, you can even use small flat stones and paint the names on them, perfect for herb gardens or flower beds. For us seniors, these DIY markers save money, reduce waste, and add a personal touch to our gardens. Plus, they're easy to make and replace, so you'll never lose track of what you've planted again. Sometimes, the simplest solutions are the most satisfying. Let me know if this fits well, and I'll move on to the next tip. 11. Affordable plant covers. Dollar store hacks. Critters nibbling on your young plants can be a gardener's nightmare, but here's an affordable and easy solution. Head to your local dollar store. Tall mesh waste baskets from the dollar aisle make excellent plant covers. They're lightweight, easy to use, and perfectly designed to keep rabbits, squirrels, and other pesky visitors away from your precious seedlings. I prefer the black baskets because they blend in beautifully with the garden, making them less noticeable while still doing the job. Just pop one over your plant and press it lightly into the soil to keep it steady. For taller plants, you can stack 2 baskets together or cut out the bottom to give them extra room to grow. For us seniors, this hack is a budget-friendly way to protect our hard work without heavy lifting or complicated setups. It's practical, simple, and, let's be honest, kind of genius. What do you think? Ready for the next tip? 12. Design garden beds with ease. Let a hose be your guide. One of my favourite parts of gardening is designing new flower beds or reshaping the ones I already have. But let's face it, dragging heavy tools around or using rigid markers can take the fun out of the process. Here's an easier, more creative way. Use your garden hose as a guide. Simply lay the hose on the ground where you want the edge of your bed to be. Its flexibility allows you to experiment with different shapes and curves until you find the perfect design. Once you're happy with the layout, you can use it as a guide for digging, planting, or even adding mulch. For us seniors, this method keeps things light and manageable while sparking creativity. There's no heavy lifting, no rushing, just the simple joy of planning your garden exactly how you want it. With a hose, the possibilities are endless. Let me know if this feels like it fits, and we'll move on to the next tip. 13. Roll heavy, rocks with ease. PVC pipes to the rescue. Have you ever spotted the perfect rock for your garden, but then realized it's too heavy to move? I've been there, and I've found a simple, back-saving trick that works wonders. All you need are a few small PVC pipes. Place the rock on top of the pipes and gently roll it forward. As the rock moves, shift the pipes from the back to the front to keep it going. This method takes the strain off your body and makes moving heavy objects much safer and easier. For us seniors, this hack is a game changer. It lets you add that beautiful rock to your garden without risking injury or exhausting yourself. With a little ingenuity and some PVC pipes, no rock is too big to handle. Let me know if this works for the tone and flow, and we'll move on to the next tip. 14. Make gardening social. Share the joy. Gardening is a beautiful way to connect with nature, but let's not forget it's also a wonderful way to connect with people. If you ever feel like gardening is a bit lonely, try turning it into a social activity. Join a local gardening club or invite your neighbours over to swap seeds, tools, and tips. You might be surprised how many friendships can bloom over a shared love for plants. For us seniors, this sense of community is priceless. It's not just about growing gardens, it's about growing connections that bring joy and purpose to our days. Sometimes the best part of gardening isn't what's growing in the soil, it's the people you share it with. Ready for the final tips? Let me know. Raised garden beds. Bring gardening to your level. Let's face it, bending and kneeling for long periods isn't as easy as it used to be. That's why raised garden beds are an absolute game changer for us seniors. By elevating the soil level, these beds bring the plants closer to you, reducing the strain on your back and knees. It's gardening made comfortable. You can choose from pre-made beds at waist level or build your own using materials like wooden planks, bricks, or even metal panels. For those using wheelchairs or walkers, consider beds with open spaces underneath for easy access. They're practical, ergonomic, and ensure everyone can enjoy gardening, no matter their mobility. Raised beds also offer better drainage and soil control, helping your plants thrive with less hassle. Add a small stool or bench nearby for breaks, and suddenly gardening feels less like work and more like the joy it's meant to be. Ready to wrap up with our final tip? Let me know. 15 and 16. DIY solutions for harvesting and seating, not perfection. Let me leave you with a gentle reminder. Gardening is a journey, not a race. It's easy to get caught up in perfection, but the truth is every small step forward is something to celebrate. For us seniors, it's important to pace ourselves, take breaks when you need to, and don't be afraid to put down your tools and just enjoy the moment. A single blooming flower, a thriving tomato plant, or a freshly weeded garden bed, these are all victories, no matter how small they might seem. Gardening isn't about having the most perfect yard, it's about the joy it brings to your life. So give yourself grace. Enjoy the process, and remember, it's not about getting everything done. It's about creating something beautiful, one step at a time. Thank you for joining me today, and don't forget to subscribe to Timless Wisdom for more tips and inspiration. Together, Let's keep growing one day at a time. How does that feel for the closing touch? As we wrap up today, I want to remind you that gardening is more than just planting seeds. It's about nurturing your soul, staying active, and creating something truly special. For us seniors, it's a way to stay connected with nature, relive cherished memories, and embrace the beauty of life at a slower, more meaningful pace. If these tips inspired you or made your gardening journey a little easier, I'd love to hear about it in the comments. And if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to Timeless Wisdom. Together, we'll continue sharing ideas, finding joy in our gardens, and celebrating this wonderful stage of life. Outro, that wraps up our session for today. Thank you for joining us at Timeless Wisdom, and I hope you found these gardening tips helpful. Until next time, happy gardening. If you enjoyed this video and found the tips useful, please give us a like, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of our future videos. Your support helps us keep growing and sharing more great gardening advice. How does this conclusion sound? Let me know if there are any adjustments you'd like to make.